how to make Luminar Neo's new enhancements work for you is our topic today on Luminar Coffee Break. Let's see what we can accomplish in 10 minutes or less, starting now. Hello, everyone, and welcome. Now, as most of you already know, we did have a huge enhancement update that was rolled out last week. Notice I'm carefully choosing my words. These were enhancements, not upgrades, not new features, enhancements. If you already own the life of membership of Luminar Neo, keep in mind these enhancements are already included in that. If you have a subscription, that's already included. Also, if you don't own it, now's the time for you to pick it up. All right. So what I want to do is just show you and just breeze right through some of the new enhancements you're going to be dealing with, and I'll show you how we can get them to work for you and what's great for the workflow. All right. Well, the new merge layers, that has been a godsend, and I can't wait to show you some new creative ways for you to use it. The improved vignette tool, to where now you can add the vignette to either a cropped image or the pre-cropped image, and they'll get the desired results. The star ratings. Now, this is one of these features that you don't really think you need until you start to play with it. We were on a shoot over the weekend, and what was really neat was in the camera, I could select my favorites. So then when I import them into Luminar Neo, I could immediately filter onto them, and I was able to see them. Expanded camera and lens support. The film strip scrolling, you'll start to notice that you'll be able to breeze through at a much easier pace when you're trying to show images. And then presets. For those who love presets, which I absolutely adore presets, they reorganized them for you, and I'll just walk you through some of that. Then last but not least, there's been bug fixes and just overall performance issues that you'll be seeing. All right. So those are the new features, or I'm sorry, take it back. Those are the new enhancements that were included. So let me dive in and show you the layers. Now, we did do a whole episode on this over the weekend or over last week, but I want to show you, just again, point out why this is such a big deal. I'm going to hide this layer right here. So these layers right here, in fact, let me do this. Let me remove that layer, and remove that layer too. There we go. And there. So now each of these images here are on their own layer. All right. Well, now what that means is I just brought both of these images in. Here's the original image. Let me hide this one for you. So this is the main image I want. This is the image I want to put in the back. Well, now I can come in and I can mask that layer like we've done before. So portrait background removal. But the neat thing about this is once I do this, once I merge that layer, we'll get the background removing quick. There we go. What I'm going to do is this. I'm going to fade it. Here we go. And then let's take this bottom layer. I'm going to duplicate it, move it to the top. Now it's to the top. I'll do the same thing to this. I'm going to remove the background. And watch this. Once I do this, you'll notice what's going to happen is I don't have to do any more asking. Look what I just did. Now, in the past, the issue we were dealing with is I can't merge these layers the old way of doing it. And so if I want to apply a special effect to this, I'd have to apply it to each of the layers. Well, now watch. Here, I'm going to select all the layers. So I'm just using the Shift or the Control key. Now I have all the layers selected. Right click, merge the layers. Now when I merge these layers, I can apply any tool I want, or any of the tool to that layer, and it affects only the layer. All right, so you saw me do that last week when we did the more in-depth tutorial on this. But I want to show you something a little bit neat that you can also do with this, whether you're a landscape photographer, portrait, or if you're doing other things with different layers. It just opens up the creativity for you. Now I do that. There we go. So I have it here. Ready? Let's apply my real quick sports grit look to this, which is under the creative tools. And here I come. Look at this. I'll dial it back a bit. Look at that. Now, the neat thing about this, it's applied to the background image and to this image here. Now, if I duplicate this image, so I just duplicated the merged image, well, now I can come in and I can say, okay, well, you know what? How would this look if it were converted to black and white? Look at that. How would it look if I decided to add, let's say, a little extra light controls to where, get to it here, linear. That's it. Oh, look at that. Darken just the back of it. Action, invert it. The other way. There it is. 4 after. Yep, I got it. Look at that. I can enhance it. And now it's enhancing not just the main image, but the entire layer. So now I have option A and B. So now I can look at this and say, okay, well, what would you prefer? Would you rather it be in black and white? Or would you rather the color? Then I can export both of those separately. And now I can give, in this case here, the subject, a black and white version and a color one without having to redo it. Jim Nix brought out a great point. What he loves to do is similar to HDR. He'll take an underexposed and a slightly overexposed image, put them into layers, and then he goes in and with layer masking paints what he wants, then merges it together. So those are just different creative ways you can work with layers. All right. Now we talked about the layers. Now we talked about that vignette. So let me hide this, or let me just get rid of that for a moment. Now, why is that vignette tool a big improvement for us? Well, if I come down here and I choose the subject, we'll go to an extreme. Look at this. Of course, you know, we could do this. I can put it anywhere I want. So far, so good. That's great. But if I were to crop this, and let's say this was the crop we did. There we go. Oh, now look, that vignette kind of messed up. So I'm going to reset the vignette. I'm going to choose it again. Now watch this. Notice it's not doing a whole lot. Well, that's post and pre. So this is what it would look like on the original image. This is what it's going to look like now on the image that we're dealing with. So it gives you the proper positioning of where you want that to be. So again, pre-crop, that's for the entire image itself. So if I got rid of the crop, get back to here, I'm going to reset my crop. Look at this. Here's the original crop. Notice that vignette is now in the proper place. So that was pretty big. All right. Let me get to, okay. This is a little cute and fun. Now let's do this. Let's check this out here. I'm in the catalog view. And let's look at the film strip. Well, look at this. Watch how fast I can go through and notice there's not a lag of the images. So I can just bomb right through what I want. So if you were showing these, let's say you were making a little, not a slideshow, but you wanted to go through quickly to show your family, your friends, the stuff that you're working on, now there isn't that delay to where it goes in, waits, refreshes, then goes on to the next one. It's more responsive, so you can work it from there. And again, I like using it in a case like this to where you could do your comparison views and everything in real time instead of waiting for the lag. All right. So while we're on to this, let me get to my favorite ones, the presets. Look what we did with the presets, all right? They completely reorganized. We still have for this photo, that's using AI to look at the actual image itself, and it's going to dictate or tell you which of these presets, look, it even knew it was an animal, which of these presets will look great for this particular image. Well, if you notice down here, look at this. Now I have the most recently added ones organized, so I don't have to sift through. And it also organizes them between essentials. Here's my landscape ones, Mother Nature. These are the presets that identify as portraits. Look at this all the way through. Then when we get to the bottom, ooh, look at this. Now, if you're looking for additional presets that are here, or, and again, I've said this a million times, if you want a little more creativity, or if, let's say you need a little spark of enthusiasm with your creativity, go to the marketplace, check out what other professional photographers have been doing with their images. That may give you an idea of what you could do. And while you're there, if you like the presets, you buy them. If not, you just have a great source of inspiration on the next ones. So now that we have all that set, ready? Let's go back up here to my presets, which is your presets. So your presets, I have way too many of them. Way too many of them. What's cool now is I can take it, click, drag, and ooh, look at that. Now you can organize them and put them in order. Because I know, let's see, way down here. Okay, look, I did the sports grit look a while ago. I drag it all the way up to the top. And let's say I want to take an old preset that I did and move it up to the top. I'll keep it going. Look at that. Now, wow, I definitely have a ton of these. And in this case here, there we go. Oh my goodness. I'll keep going. Wow. All right. There we are. So I can move it up to the top. I can also click here, delete, or I can show in Explorer, or if you're on a Mac, you're going to be showing it in Finder. And when I do that, let's see, it's on this other screen. Look where they are. They tell me exactly where those presets are. On Windows, it's under the app folder or the subfolder, and then you could drill down to here. One thing I would recommend, here is where I could delete the ones I'm not using, but before you delete them, select all of them, take them out of that folder, put them somewhere safe, so if something were to happen, the presets you've created will always be available to you. So in this case here, like, how many do I have in here? To say, let's see, select all. I thought Windows would tell me, and apparently it's, well, maybe. Nope, Windows is not telling me, but I definitely have quite a bit. Oh, there are 46 of them. So I have 46 presets. That's overkill. I'll go in at some point, reorganize the ones I don't need, move them outside, keep them safe. Then inside Luminar Neo, I can change the order. I can go in, organize the layer order or the preset order, and I can put them where I need them to be. All right. So let me hide this again and get back to Luminar Neo. All right. So we have our presets. Like I said, that was a good added little feature they brought in. For your camera profiles, these are graphic files, so they're not going to show. All right, here we are. All right, under my develop raw, that was a JPEG. Oh yeah, there's develop raw. And there we are. So now you'll notice here, it's gonna have more support, especially if you have a newer camera. It'll give you that added support on those particular cameras. This was an old camera. You can tell it was shot with a D2X. That was many years ago. So I can come in, click on those, and get that down. It'll also help you with the lens. So when we are doing, let's say, transformation or optical, here we are, and it fixes the lens distortions or the auto distortion for correctness, behind the scenes, it's using those newer lenses to help make sure that you're getting the proper lens corrections and things along those lines. So the stuff that the team has been doing is absolutely incredible. Remember, these are enhancements. They're not upgrades and they're not new features. They also went out of their way to make sure that the performance is much smoother. All right. So those are just a couple examples and ways we could do it. One of my big features I really got into, like I said, over the weekend, was that camera, adding star ratings in the camera. So if you're a type of a person who does a lot of shooting, let's say you're on a photo adventure and you're spending 4 days in Iceland or England or wherever you're going, you can, in theory, in camera, just while you're in the car heading back to your hotel, just start selecting your favorites. And then when you get back to the location that you're at, and you have your laptop, when you put that memory card in, you could go through and say, okay, filter on the star ratings, and then you could quickly edit those images on the fly. It wasn't a feature we asked for. It was a feature that the team felt that, this will make the experience much better. And there it is. Now, the other thing I did notice, let me make sure I have it set for you. And yes, they did. Here it is. Look at this right here. They added the provide feedback. We've talked about this, and I'm so glad that they listened. There is where you would click on and offer any suggestions that you would like to see improvements into the software. Now, please understand, just because we ask for it doesn't mean they're going to give it to us right away. All right? And if there's enough people that want a special feature, like the layer merge, the team listens and they allocate the proper resources to it. All right? Now, again, if you don't have a copy of Luminar Neo, here's your chance to scan that QR code and get the price for it. If you have the lifetime, but let's say it's an older version that didn't have all these extra upgrades that were in there, then if you want to, you can actually purchase the next version of this, and right there you can get your absolute best deal. Remember, if you're up for a renewal for your subscription, same thing. If you're buying stuff on the marketplace, same thing. Use this. Go to marketplace or skylum.com and then just see what it says. If it says, hey, there you have the best deal already, then you know you do. If it gives you options, then you can go from there. All right. Now, if you're here, please stick around for the Ask Me Anything segment. For those that are watching this live on Zoom, if you're watching this on YouTube or the rebroadcast, excuse me, there's a link to let you know if you want to join us to stick around for the Ask Me Anything segment, where you can ask any questions whatsoever about this topic or anything in photography in general. You're welcome to do that. All right. So again, if you're here, please stick around. For everyone else, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you at the next coffee break.